load goes down, their CD4, CD8 counts, meaning their immunity comes back up. They're less infectious, and if they maintain compliance, eventually the virus goes away and they're cured. While the virus is going away, they're not infecting anyone, so maintaining compliance to antiviral meds, whether it's a horrible sickness or not, that compliance will eventually eradicate the disease. Dr. Montana is in agreement that cannabis is an excellent adjunct to antiviral therapy and promotes it a lot. So we're helping with that cause, and a lot of our members are HIV positive and maintaining compliance. Now, over the past year, we've tracked 8 of our members. These are people that I have chosen because they tend to be good note takers. They're always in the club, and I can track them and follow their cannabis use and their diet and everything else. So we tracked 8 members, 1 for depression, 1 for digestive disorders, 1 for ADHD, another for chronic pain, another for MS. We wrote up 2 of these studies in what are called case reports and have submitted them to a scientific journal for publication. If they don't publish it, we'll publish it anyway on our website. But we're looking for what's called peer-reviewed publication, which means other scientists in the field look at it and give it thumbs up or not. The one on chronic pain was a fellow that had suffered a terrible trauma. He fell 28 feet and completely bashed up his neck, his spine, his limbs, and was on a whole barrage of opiate medications for a year or so before he came to us, and over the past year has weaned himself off all opiate medications and is now just using cannabis to treat his chronic pain, plus a number of herbal supplements and free amino acids, which he finds useful.
Have you found that the the capsules have worked better for people than them smoking cannabis?
I think that's my next slide. Yeah. I'll be there in a second. Okay? I'm going to talk about smoke. This fellow used capsules for his chronic pain. We enduringly call Canna caps. They're standardized oral capsules of cannabis, and he also smoked cannabis and ate baked goods. But over the past year has only used cannabis and some supplements to manage chronic pain. And this is 24/7 excruciating chronic pain. The woman with multiple sclerosis came to us on a walker, and now she is going for walks and doing some gardening, only using canna caps and a little smoking too. She's bounced back very well and is tremendously grateful for us supplying her. Now, what was really interesting about these 2 people, and it also goes for the other 6 that we followed, is the amount of THC they require to manage their conditions. The woman, multiple sclerosis, was severe of the variable type and remitting. So far she's had no remissions. This has been a year now, and she's, like I say, doing very well. But we both used 50 milligram caps as a routine. It varied a little, but we tracked all they used and how much they smoked and how much they ate, and worked out the amount of THC that was required per day. Another important point is to get the most beneficial effects for both for MS and for chronic pain. They found that dosing every 4 to 6 hours throughout the day was required, particularly for chronic pain. Doing it less than that, you'll run out, and the idea is to keep your serum levels of THC the same throughout the day. The smoking one's after this. But I want to make a point on required dosages of oral cannabis and smoking cannabis, as opposed to what Health Canada recommends, which is a rule of thumb of 5 grams per day. 5 grams is 5,000 milligrams. 17% of 5,000 is 850 milligrams. Why 17%? Because 17% is the average THC level that we see in the cannabis that we supply to our members of the Green Cross. That's the average. That might be a little low, maybe 18 to 20, but it is in that roughly ballpark. So 17 is a good low ball number to look at this. So 17%, 5,000 milligrams, 850 milligrams. The literature says that you will get roughly 20% of what you smoke inhaled from smoking your weight of cannabis. You'll inhale roughly 20% of the THC from that. It's a ballpark number. 20% of 850 is 170 milligrams. If this was the 12% cannabis
in the capsule.
I am a proponent of eating cannabis. We all should do a little activated cannabis every day.
And activated cannabis, what is that?
Heating it up first.
Okay.
Doesn't it only bond with certain like fat molecules or
Can I
like,
just answer? In an earlier lecture, I talked about decarboxylation. That means kicking CO2 off the THC molecule. If it's got CO2 on it, it won't bind the receptor. You have to kick CO2 off it before it binds the receptor.
Okay. So heating up happens when you bake it
That's
or
why
when
you
you
don't
light
take
it
a
up.
bud off the plant and just eat it.
Yeah.
Nothing will happen. You have to heat it up first to kick CO2 off to activate the THC.
Okay. I had another question. So you said there's this cannabinoid system and of receptors that are throughout your nervous system, and then there's other systems for opiates and other types of drugs. Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted.
Receptors. Yeah, it's.
I have to look more into
It's
it.
complex. Okay, where was I? Yeah, so if you get 20% of the available THC from 5 grams of 17% cannabis, you'll get 107 milligrams a day. And if it's 12% cannabis from PPS, you'll get 120 milligrams a day if you're smoking. If you baked that 5 grams of 17% and fully converted it and got all of the THC out of it, you'd still be getting less than 600 milligrams a day. So what I said, if you only get 120 milligrams from the PPS cannabis, you're going to need 4 times that to get 480 milligrams or get even close to what our two people needed at 500 milligrams a day. So if you're applying to Health Canada for cannabis, 5 grams is not going to cut it for you if you're smoking. If you're in chronic pain suffering from MS, you're going to need more than that. I would suggest asking for 20 grams minimum. And here we go, smoking. When you smoke cannabis, you'll go on to an hour or two high, down again, up again, down again through the day. When you take oral cannabis, you go on a 4 to 6 hour plateau. You're not cycling. So if you're in chronic pain or suffering from MS, tremors, or epileptic seizures, you don't want to be cycling, you want to be plateauing. And the way to do that is to dose every 4 to 6 hours. And also